Hi, my name is Jamie Mancato, and this is my e-portfolio for ETD 625. So the intent of my portfolio was to create something that an employer could look at online and get to know a little bit more about you as a candidate. So what I did is I created a portfolio that was centered around things that you would normally find related to a job interview. So, starting with my homepage, I just kind of have a quick synopsis of my background in education. I talk about my K through 12 English and music experience, and also the instructional technology and e-learning experience. The first tab is about me. It's a biography button. So if I go here to enter now, it's like a brief synopsis about me. But then there's something a little bit more thorough and detailed when it comes to the biography. Only because the first question they usually ask you on a job interview is, tell me a little bit about yourself. So I figured I would put it all in writing. So the next time I have a job interview, or if an employer wants to see this first question, they have it online. So I talk about growing up in Saginaw, moving to Detroit, working at the various schools, in the automobile industry, and so on and so forth. Okay, next I have my educational philosophy. I feel this is important for any portfolio because schools have their own philosophy, and sometimes they want to know what your philosophy is to see if the two philosophies will mesh. So essentially, my philosophy in education is that all kids have a special gift, they just have to find it. That relates to the theory of multiple intelligences, and also to some degree that schools should have a curriculum that includes the arts, kind of intertwined with the other kids' studies and that sort of thing to make them a little bit more creative and that sort of thing. Okay, next I felt the most important thing to talk about was my education. So essentially I put my education resume online, another quick synopsis of my educational experiences, my graduate degree that I'm working towards, the relevant coursework, my undergrad degree at Saginaw Valley, and then finally, I didn't want to leave out my associate's degree at Delta Community College because that was in music and the arts, and I had a great experience there. And also, the experience at Delta College kind of led to, I guess, other networking opportunities in music and playing the guitar and that sort of thing. So I do want to keep that in there. Okay, going down, the next option I have would be my graduate courses, which would be in the ETD 625, 24, 22 realms. Just in general, showing off coursework from the program. And the reason for this, I thought that this was very important, is because the majority of people who have a leadership position or who teach online in the schools that I worked at in the past or the one I work in currently, those people have absolutely no experience in any kind of educational technology program. So it's just basically someone they find who has a little bit of savvy in technology, but there's no clear degree or anything that they might have. So I think by highlighting this in a portfolio, you will definitely have an advantage to get a job teaching online or in some kind of leadership position. So I just go over the courses and a brief description. I found this on the Saginaw Valley catalog online. And talks about the various courses I've taken previously at Saginaw Valley State University. Now, I do know that I did not have this organized last summer, and last summer I had the opportunity to teach online in Romulus, and that job was given to the gym teacher. So I think if I had been a little bit more organized and could have said, hey, I've taken this class, this class, this class, distance education, advanced instructional design, I definitely would have gotten the job. So maybe next time around. Okay, from there I go to credentials because I feel that an employer would want to see your credentials. They usually want to know, well, let's see your credential. What are you certified in? It would be right here, and it explains it. My certificate is my first renewal. I actually have enough to basically get a professional one. I just haven't applied for it yet. I have to do it this summer. Then down a little bit, as far as professional development, I thought I'd talk about the latest trends in the area, which have to do with the MESA conference and the MIELA conferences that happen in June. So I talked a little bit about that. Working with the MESA units, which are writing units for the performance task of the MSTEP, which is only the only performance task goes to the 8th graders this year for the writing sample anyways, but it's still something good to have on your resume. And also the trend around the Detroit area for the IRRE, power strategy type lesson planning, just to kind of show some affiliation and training in that as far as the power strategies and that sort of thing, and so on and so forth. Okay, so the next option in my portfolio would be the data, which is my favorite part, because when you're trying to compete for a job, you have to have some kind of information or data to show you can separate yourself, or you have the ability to teach or show growth or whatever. So what I essentially did was took some of the past data I've had that was actually very good data, I felt, and showcased it to a potential employer. So some of these kids did very well compared to like the state averages and whatnot, and district averages at the schools that we worked at. This is my favorite. It's a very tough year of teaching, but this data is something I can take and use on a resume for the future. And also another data table here where the kids scored whatever beyond, they basically outpaced their peers around them in the other schools and that sort of thing. So I think this is important because it's one more thing that can possibly lead to an online teaching position and maybe give you an advantage in a competitive field in education in the Metro Detroit area. So next are the ISTE standards. One more time, just giving a little bit more knowledge and experience in the instructional technology field and in technology, which could give you an upper hand in a potential job in a leadership position in technology. And I notice when I have my students currently, if I give them laptops and give them technology, they are a lot more quiet and a lot more in tune and engaged, and it's a lot less work than if I'm trying to teach them from a classic textbook. So definitely would like something in this field. Okay, and then from standards, I go to the basic resume, and you can see some of the schools I've worked at in the past and some of my positions. I kind of highlight that I have 2 addresses, so it makes you a little bit more likely to land a job in either region. Some of the schools I've worked at in the past, like I said, they're listed here, like basically a typical resume. Then I included my cover letter because sometimes they ask for a cover letter, so I updated it and put it here. Well, I know it has 2015 on it, but basically I updated it because I haven't used it, but updated the content in the cover letter, so I have to change the date eventually, but I'm sure they'll understand it, and it still functions. Then over here, I have my contact information, and I put in an address of my current location, because sometimes when you go to a job interview, they want to know, where do you live, how far are you from the school, okay, and that way you have just kind of like a clear visual for that. The email contact link works. Haven't received any emails yet, but I haven't used this for anything yet. But overall, that's pretty much my portfolio. I think it functions for for a position and highlights your technology skills that you've attained in the program, and I'll use it in the future. Okay, thank you for watching.